Memories for a lifetime. By the way, something we haven't talked about, this is the King Fahd Stadium in Riyadh, which is actually the home stadium of Al Hilal. Al Nassr plays about 5-7 miles on the other side of town. 25,000 seat stadium that will be Ronaldo's home for the next few years.
And then a double fill for Ronaldo at the half certainly is going to put him in a great position to be adored throughout.
Well, Messi with a goal and some magic. Mbappe and Neymar also drawing the headlines, although Neymar, and he has Keylor Navas with a clatter, and that led to his penalty, in case you were thinking he was making it up. Expect heavy substitutions, right, really from both sides. Now the funny thing is, both Messi and Ronaldo hate to be substituted. You almost wonder whether they'll play the full 90. Or maybe, just maybe, if this is that Hollywood script, in the 89th minute, they both walk off into the sunset together. Mbappe wearing the captain's armband, Neymar coming out, Messi behind him. So it looks like Marquinhos will be swapped.
Well-deserved rest after a brilliant goal, by the way, of the Mbappe cross.
So Danilo, perhaps. Still see Soler. Right now, Al-Jassim explaining to the two number 7s. And again, the irony is, Kylian Mbappe grew up with a Cristiano Ronaldo poster by his bed. And there were many thinking that back in his Real Madrid days that the Madridistas would use that to try and draw Mbappe to Madrid. They are still good friends, but PSG rewrote history. Well, it looks like Vitinha will be coming in. Talisca as well. Just come on in. Forget all that funny stuff. Talisca, Lajama. Danilo is.
And going back, Phil, to just Mbappe and Ronaldo's exchange, and Ronaldo showing his face. I think one of the reasons why Messi and Ronaldo have been extraordinary is that they can take a hit and carry on. The ability for them, both a strong mindset to continue.
Well, a few changes, not as many as we would have thought.
Thank God.
The veteran Brazilian Talisca and his defensive mate Ali Lajami, the two Al Nassr men, checking in for the Riyadh Stars. Meanwhile, Vitinha and Danilo checking in for the shorthanded PSG.
Yeah, we just got to make sure that people understand it's 2-2, but it's 10 versus 11. The red card against Bernard forces Danilo to come in centrally. Ramos in that left zone, Phil, still out of a 3. Or maybe Danilo, Ramos, centrally Ruiz, a natural lefty. That's the true left back, and you're right, Vitinha in midfield. Soler still out there, Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar.
Najama tending to play on the left side. Not sure if El Boulaye, the 33-year-old veteran, has come out or not. We'll see when they get down to that end of the field. Pity Martinez, the former Atlanta man. Looks like they might have pulled El Ghanam. Abdul Hamid looks like he's switched to this right side,
which is his best side, Phil. That's
could not keep it in. Salem El Dassari causing more problems.
Hey, Navas not looking sharp today, Phil, and it's hard if you don't start each and every game, which he did for Costa Rica in the World Cup, but can't get any minutes really for PSG and looks rusty coming off his line, causing the penalty, and now almost trying to bounce the ball back into his hands as a basketball player, out of bounds, and set piece, and we know already what kind of damage Ronaldo can do in the air.
Well, let's find out. Inside for Chang, denied by Navas. Well, even with the rust, he's sharp enough. Inches away from Riyad going in front. Here's Talisca with his first touch. Rifles it low, and Navas no rebound on this one. Well, it looks like Fabian has stayed back in the Juan Bernat role.
Yep.
They have had a problem at left back all season long. Nuno Mendes still not 100%. They had actually gone playing Nori Mukiele out of position, but he's not healthy. In fact, was left back in Paris to recover. They even had to use the young man giant Bichiabu. Messi beating the flag, but he can't beat the keeper. Did it come off the hand? Well, it looks like it might have, but it's a moot point because Messi was offside on the initial pass. And down the other way, Ronaldo onside. Man, it's going coast to coast. Martinez on the turn, El Dassari. Wide for Talisca. Driving it for Ronaldo, but Fabian in the way. Abdul Hamid keeps it in play. Ruiz tracking back. Smart read by Neymar. But well played, Abdul Hamid. Neymar and Messi both showing more defensive intensity this year at the outset. Chance for Talisca, but it just sails high.
Yeah, if you can come with Talisca off the bench, that's just an added bonus. Really true lefty, great serve off the ball, great striker off the ball as well.
Talisca,
well, brilliantly, Phil, just goes over the bar. Navas reads that, but it's its upper feet. That's a goal.
Born in Brazil, came up through Vasco, Bahia, before really making his name with Benfica. Spent some time in Turkey and China, and now in Saudi Arabia.
It's interesting to see if Gallardo makes some adjustments in terms of being a man up. They're pressing a little bit higher right now, but that's a tall order if you don't play very many minutes together, Phil, because that's just, you have to be in sync. One guy doesn't execute, you get punished, particularly against PSG. So you can see again that it's more medium pressure, Phil, and forcing PSG to play backwards. PSG will stay patient, but with a month less, they got to make some quicker and better decisions.
By the way, Fabian's actually looked pretty good at this left back spot, and for a guy who's struggled for playing time, versatility never hurts. Oh, just past the boot of Messi.
When those three are still in the field, Phil, this time it's Mbappe playmaking and Messi trying to get to the end of it. That's normally the other way around, but anytime the ball turns over, Phil.
Wide for Abdul Hamid, and Danilo calm under pressure.
Yeah, taking Marquinhos' position. That's big shoes to fill. There's that header, the glancing header of
saw that sweep. Might have been intentional, might not have been, but it could have denied a third goal.
Yeah, there's no better goalkeeper with quicker hands and reactions than Keylor Navas, let's be real honest.
Although from the outset, Donnarumma has been the goalkeeper for every minute of every game in league. You kind of sense that's more with an eye on the future and an ear towards Donnarumma's agent. But Keylor Navas has had to pay the price, and you could argue so did Costa Rica, who had a bit of a defensive problem prior to that tournament. Dancing through Mbappe. Jun trying to slow him down. Again, it is 10 on 11 after the Bernat takedown on a breakaway. Slapped away, Alois, says Mbappe feeling it.
Man, have to talk about Mbappe.
Hakimi, now Vitinha. Messi had some space and time. El Dosadi over. The two Riyadh derby rivals teaming up and now drawn with PSG. By the way, in that derby, Al Hilal currently in second place. 59 wins, 48 for Al Nassr. Today they're working together. Mbappe gets around the defense, in front for Sergio Ramos. And hey, one Real Madrid legend scores, why not another?
Pretty amazing, Phil, but initially when that corner with Messi goes short, Danilo and Ramos are there. It takes probably close to a minute before Mbappe is able to get the ball in there. And if you look at Ramos and Danilo's body language, it's almost like, do we stay? Do we go back? Is it ever going to come? And eventually it does come. And just like Marquinhos, Ramos just makes a hard run. This one is on the ground. No chance. But I'm telling you, both center backs have excelled inside the opponent 18-yard box. Obviously, all the hard work done by Mbappe getting away from Abdul Hamid, and then a good ball in to the streaking near post Ramos.
Maybe, just maybe, the best scoring defender in modern history. Ball whacked towards the corner.
And what a rescue it is, by the way. Ramos helps him up. But what a good tackle that is. After he actually held, there's that brilliant back heel by Pity Martinez that draws the foul. And there comes Ramos through.
From the corner, driven in the middle! And it's the Korean, Zhang. Kyung-Soo Zhang. 3 goals for his national team, and this will be one to remember.
And if you talk about one of the outstanding performances on the day, obviously Ronaldo, Messi come to mind, but Zhang has been very good, Phil, on both sides of the ball, kept it alive for the first goal, is there again, and just gets ahead of Ramos. And talk about the flick header, no chance for Navas. Ramos lost his mark there, and then the South Korean does brilliantly, but just redirecting that one far post. When the ball comes with that kind of pace through traffic, no chance for Navas to get there early, and also very hard for Ramos to track that run.
Well, looked like there was a little whistle from VAR, perhaps just maybe waiting for his assistants to let him know they were ready.
And what a game it has been. I mean, people look at the scoreline and go, okay, that's a friendly. No, this has not been a friendly. You've seen yellow cards, you've seen red cards, you've seen penalties. We've seen some great saves from both and some brilliant goals. This game has really lived up to its billing.
Well, as might be expected, maybe a few bottles of champagne, although they've just used them to break the bottles and go at each other. 3-3 the score, and we've got another 30 minutes plus to go. Well, was this worth $2.6 million?
So far, I think it is.
In case you're wondering.
If you could afford 2.6, I think yes.
If you got it.
Why not?
Man bought a ticket to this match for a rather hefty amount. See a few lower seats, but those are down towards the front edge where the field is a bit obscured. Soler trying to flick it away, blocked by El Boulaye. Messi quickly for Neymar, threads it for Mbappe. Back to the middle for Messi. Blocked away, but off the arm, and back to the spot we go. El Boulaye couldn't get out of the way. His argument is, in a natural position, bang, bang, hard to argue.
Yeah, it comes very fast, and yes, the arm is away from the body, Phil. It starts high, he tries to actually bring it in.
So it is a natural movement, but the arm is away. So I guess, which advice to the referees are we going with? Away from the body, natural position. I don't think it was clearly missed. VAR is going to let this stand, and PSG with a chance to stretch their lead or get their lead back.
And Mbappe, having the captain's armband, stepping up this time, was first Neymar. Messi, again, in a very generous way towards his teammates. And one of the reasons I think he'll keep Neymar and Mbappe on his side, vice versa.
Boulaye is still arguing, still bitter. The 33-year-old has played 40 matches for Saudi Arabia. He's won Champions League, professional leagues. And this is a friendly, and he's arguing over a penalty call. But it will stand. And Mbappe, who has missed one in league play this year, tries to avoid what befell Neymar. Boos and whistles from the King Fahd Stadium crowd. 11 meters away, and 1 goal the distance. Mbappe scores. He's on the score sheet and back in front. The next generation makes its presence felt.
That's a great point, Phil. Obviously, we talked about Haaland and Mbappe in our pre-game, and these are, on paper, not just on paper, the heir apparent of Ronaldo and Messi.
Looks like Andre Carilla, Mateo Pereira checking in. And it looks like Pity Martinez will check out. Ronaldo will exit. The Al Hilal midfielder Mohamed Kano will check in. And a nice round of applause for the Portuguese legend.
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo, a double for the hosts, Phil, a brace. 60 minutes, probably expected. That's the norm, Phil, when you come back, and this is his first game in terms of a preseason mode, or trying to get you back to 90 minutes. You don't want to force it. You don't want to get injuries, as much as he loved to stay on the pitch. But what a brilliant performance by CR7.
Ekitike, Bitshaibi, Ismail Garbi. It looks like Konan also will get a chance to shine. Will it be Messi who follows? Mbappe will exit. Ekitike. Navas looks like he's coming out. Will it be Donnarumma or... Let's see. And it will be Messi, so equaling Cristiano Ronaldo on the clock. And both goats maybe not ready for the pasture as the two Argentines say hello, but they are ready to watch this one from the sidelines.
Extraordinary. And again, Phil, we say never, but there's no guarantee that these two phenoms will play in the same league against each other. And this might have been the last dance you've witnessed as adversaries in a brilliantly played game.
Ekitike, the big man from France, stepping to the front line. Warren Zaire-Emery, the 16-year-old phenom, out there as well. And he does look like to the manner born. Out wide for Abdul Hamid.
And against Stade Rennais, he had to start, Phil, and as a 16-year-old, he belongs. Might have been with Donnarumma, the two best players for PSG in the day. That 1-0 loss, but clearly showed that he belongs. Great talent, brilliant midfielder, first age, strong, technically sound, a good two-way player that is needed in the system that Galtier plays. It's him and Vitinha right now running the midfield.
By the way, it is one of the reasons that the PSG Ultras are back on board. Not just winning, not just the change in manager, not just holding on to Messi and Mbappe, but it's these kids that are on the field. Garbi and Husni and Zaire-Emery and Bichiabu. PSG
talent.
produces more than almost any team on the planet. That includes the Brazilian ones. But they've always sold them off to buy the latest flash in the window. That's not the case under Luis Campos and Christophe Galtier.
No, it's not, Phil. And it's a lovely and a great philosophy, obviously, if you can sprinkle in some of your talented players and keep them there. Some of them are Parisians, born and raised in the capital where PSG plays, obviously. So, yes, if you're a fan.
Out wide, Lejami. Vitinha dancing away from the spikes of Luis Gustavo. Danilo.
Yeah, small in size, but can take a hit, which he did right there, and then still getting away from pressure and so good in tight areas.
Poked away Danilo. And a takedown far flank. Down goes Salem Al-Dassari. Looks like Timothée Pembele is back after loaned out last year. Suffered an ACL after a great start. And finally back healthy. Danilo, not exactly where he meant it. Talisca, and it almost met a foot at the front post. So it is Timothée Pembele. So it is just a friendly, but this is valuable time for Galtier, for these youngsters, and the returning prospect in Pembele. Donnarumma, and, well, there's some of his rust.
But still, Phil, yes, very important. I always try to integrate young players in friendlies, which this one is, but it was more than a friendly, as we all know. So full house, pressure, and still a good way to assess some of these younger players that are coming through. Who belongs, who doesn't, who can I rely on late in the game, who might be able to start if there are some injuries. Nice to see that Galtier is going to his bench. And don't just recycle the names that we normally see, but it goes with some youth and vibrance.
Dembélé going to Bordeaux last season and did well before the injury. And you wonder whether they would have been relegated if he had been able to stay fit. But looks like they might be back next year in that automatic promotion spot in the second division. The French legends. Luis Gustavo out wide as Al-Dassari trying to take on Pembele again. Jami out wide, back near side. Pereira. And got to be playing some defense. Got to be one of those flashy midfielders. And by the way, Mendes is healthy enough. I knew he was getting better, and they have decided to give him a chance to loosen up here today. World champion Lionel Messi. Still haven't seen anything official about a contract extension. He had an option on his old deal, but all reports seem to signify that they will tear that up and come up with a new 2-year deal, maybe even another 2+1, even though there are Argentine and American clubs, even a pretty big one in Catalonia, that wouldn't mind to see him.
I'd be surprised if...
Ball driven through, down goes Donnarumma.
PSG would do anything with Mendes. Yes, the trident is huge, no doubt about it. But I say after that, Mendes and Hakimi are very important to the success of this team because of the ability, their skill set that they have that is very unique coming out of those left and right-sided positions.
Michiabu and even Luis Gustavo had second thoughts about running into that giant. Was 17 years of age, 6'6", about 250 pounds. Maybe not quite Bernat or Mendes, but he's even played out on that left back and pushed upfield a bit. Husni, Zaire Emery, Vitinha. I think the average age is below the driving age. Out wide for Pembele, the give and go. Pembele, Ekatike. The flag should have come up, but it doesn't matter because Yongsung Jang took care of business himself.
Yeah, he did take care of business, but it has to be a much better ball, Phil.
Danilo.
Across the goal mouth. That has to be played with pace. The only thing you have to do is put out your inside of your foot and let it get into the back of the net.
Husni looking good in limited time. Vitinha from distance, lifting it over the keeper, but he didn't get quite enough.
And that sums up Vitinha as well. His head is always on a swivel. His eyes are always up. So aware of his surroundings. Tries to chip the keeper here, but good reaction again. We're seeing 3 or 4. When Vitinha, I put in not the 17 or 18-year-old category, but still a very young player as well. But didn't get a lot of minutes for Portugal, but clearly has become also with Verratti very important for Galtier. As we talked about Mendes and Hakimi as well in different roles out wide.
The Saudi battle of 29s on that far flank, and Pembele forces it away. Well, they talked about Bordeaux, the other team that went down, the legends from Saint-Etienne, and they might go down to the National.
That ball would have come back, by the way, for offsides, but still, there's Vitinha trying that chip.
By the way, as we see Eloise, who with Ospina's injury might end up playing the full 90. Although they do have Saudi Arabia's youth international and their former starter on the bench from Al Nassr, if they elect. Kind of funny, in a match that's seen 7 games, you could make an argument for Hyun-Soo Jang being the MVP.
I'm telling you, Phil, I mean, it wasn't just about Ronaldo and Messi, but some players that are on display right here might still have an opportunity to jump to a big European club, regardless of their age, if they can add something to that. And you're right, Young clearly one of the better performances on the field today.
PSG playing a man down after the Bernat red card. Deserve it, and as Cristiano Ronaldo showed with that shiner, the penalty he earned against Keylor Navas also deserved. Although Kylian Mbappe, full respect. Now with some of the youngsters on, they also have something to prove. Talisca, the turn. Donnarumma hops over to make the stop.
Talisca's not seeing any of his teammates right now. It's collecting in the left foot and striking with the left foot as well.
Little deflection off Danilo, but Donnarumma was up for it.
Yeah.
Luis Gustavo given a bit of a free rein as he pressures inside the PSG 18. Here's Zaire Emery. One back. Out wide. Oh. Ali Lajami again. Not quite enough on that one. Dembele wide for Husni. Ilyas Husni, another one of those products. Maybe the next forward coming up. Tries to drive it inside for Godby, the next midfielder. Poked away.
A true test for Galtier's young man as well, Phil, with probably about 50-minute plus left to play. Can they, with 10 men, maintain possession? Can they play through pressure? Are they comfortable in these kind of situations, which is tighter spaces and their opponent is pushing a little bit more, down 4-3? They like to get back in this game. Good test.
Long switch. One touch for Abdul Hamid. Carrillo, actually Mati Pereira flashing towards that one. With all of those substitutions, just a little off the boil, but Luis Gustavo still hungry. Onside, blasted through the middle, off the heels of Danilo, but it doesn't deflect the Peruvians' way.
It certainly doesn't, Phil. What a good tackle this is. Great 50-50. Not only tackling, but on getting up and winning and then playing in an advanced position. And I'm telling you, there's two guys making hard runs, far post, somebody trailing. The better decision would have been to pull that one back. PSG struggling right now, Phil, to maintain that semblance. The stars are out. The tempo has dropped a little bit. The crowd's still into it, though. In particular, when they show Ronaldo on the big screen.
Again, remember, this is not his stadium, but there's plenty of Al Nassr fans who have made the trek. 1 point separating the two Riyadh Giants, who are working together on the day. They trail by a goal. Can they find yet another equalizer? Cano.
An interesting part. We'll see.
Abdul Hamid. Talisca on Bichiabu. Give and go. Abdul Hamid, but he could not keep the ball in play.
In the FIFA World Club Championship in Morocco, obviously, we'll see some of these players at display as well. It's a lifetime opportunity, and there's quite a few people in the stadium say, I've seen Messi and Ronaldo playing in the last game live. I know it's speculation, but based on their ages, probably true, isn't it?
Will there be a fourth? Loose at the top of the 18, and the deflected shot goes high. Salem again. Just under 15 minutes to go. Mateus Pereira from the corner flag. Flicks to the back. Zaire Emery clears, but straight to a sky blue shirt. Luis Gustavo. Back through the middle, and the 6'6" Donnarumma able to grab hold. Luis Gustavo almost stole it, but he leaves the back door open, and now a charge for Ekitike. Around Abdul Hamid, off the fingertips of Mohamed Al-Awais. And Hugo Ekitike's scoring run continues. It's 5-3 PSG.
That's a great finish. Brilliant feed as well into space. which allows him just to run onto it. And he comes from deep, Phil. He comes from deep. He stays on side, smart as well. A very good first touch, getting away from his defender. And then he drives that one upper V far post. Well executed free kick, or sorry, counter, obviously, of a player that was replaced very early in the last game because of not playing particularly well against Stade Rennais, but still a guy that has so many tools.
And prior to that, he had scored in 3 straight, so goals in 4 of the last 5.
Yeah, and proven over time when he gets loaned out that he can score on all levels. We always said, is there a plan B for a bigger number 9? I think he comes to mind, maybe.
And one of the reasons we might see some of these players, the younger ones, loaned out. They tried with Pembele last year. They have sent Pablo Sarabia away. As
those fees, right? Now like 3 million, 5 million. It's just like Memphis Depay goes for 3 million from Barcelona to Atletico Madrid.
Sarabia to Wolverhampton, who are trying to avoid relegation.
Yep. Great pickup.
Did well in Portugal last year and
good pro.
Got off to a great start. Remember, he was the starter at the beginning of the season when Mbappe was unavailable.
Yep.
And did well, but as time minimized, he ends up moving, and he turned down some big offers to go to Wolves. So let's see what happens there. PSG saying they would not make any big pickups in this winter window, maybe no pickups. And with Mendes coming back, Pembele coming back, maybe they don't need to. The problem is, if they do get past Bayern, the window is closed. Overlap for Abdul Hamid, deflected, he'll settle for the corner.
And Bayern just making, as you said, that big move as well to
Jurgen Sommer.
Sommer in goal. On paper, still potentially working on all cylinders.
Jonas Omlin leaving Montpellier to take. Nice by El Khairari. Threads it through for Luis Gustavo.
And we just mentioned the FIFA Club World Cup, Phil. It's Casablanca. We had Casablanca versus Al Hilal. And the winner of that will play the Seattle Sounders. And then eventually, I think, Real Madrid.
I think it's the other side. Let's see. Thought it was Auckland City's game. But we'll see how that plays out. But it is Real Madrid on the horizon should Seattle advance.
Yeah, Seattle will win the will play the winner of Casablanca and Al Hilal. I think it is. In Auckland, Al Hilal. Just Phil is jamming next to me, correcting me, obviously. But as I said,
we all want to know.
Sure. I think Auckland is playing Al Hilal, and then the winner of that potentially Seattle, the winner of that maybe Real Madrid.
Al Ahly, Auckland, Seattle, Real.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, Casablanca, Al Hilal facing Flamengo.
There you go. So, but at least I was correct that some of the players we've seen here we might see in Morocco in early February as well.
And again, take a look at some of these players on the Al Hilal side. They should have a good chance against Wydad Casablanca. Carrillo, Marega. Out wide for Pereira. Up the line, Pembele, Garbi, Husni. But they'll leave it for Pembele. Quick feet by Salim Al-Dessari. The left wing all the way by his own back line. Hyun Soo Jang, a game to remember. His team's given up 5, but
so comfortable on the ball. And yes,